The first moves to make when you suddenly become wealthy. Imagine checking your bank account one day and seeing millions of dollars sitting there. Maybe you won the lottery, sold a business, got a massive inheritance, or landed a life-changing investment deal. Suddenly, you're rich. But before you go on a spending spree, there's something important you need to know. Most people who suddenly become wealthy lose it all within a few years. That's right, lottery winners, athletes, even celebrities who once had fortunes end up broke because they didn't know how to handle their money. And the truth is, having money is one thing, but keeping it is another. So, what should you do first when you suddenly get rich? The decisions you make in the first few months will determine whether your wealth lasts a lifetime or disappears just as fast as it came. Let's start with the critical first steps to take when money unexpectedly comes your way. The first thing you need to do is pause. The biggest mistake people make when they suddenly get rich is rushing into major decisions. The urge to spend, invest, or give money away can be overwhelming, but taking time to assess your situation is key. The worst thing you can do is act impulsively and regret it later. One of the smartest moves you can make in the first 24 to 48 hours after coming into wealth is to keep it quiet. The moment people hear you've got money, expect distant relatives, friends, and even strangers to come out of nowhere asking for favors or investment opportunities. Protecting your privacy is crucial to maintaining control over your finances and avoiding emotional decisions. The next step is assembling a financial team. You might think, I can handle this money myself, but even self-made billionaires rely on financial advisors, accountants, and tax experts to manage their wealth. A sudden influx of money means complex tax rules, legal considerations, and investment strategies, things you don't want to figure out alone. A financial planner will help you create a long-term strategy, ensuring your wealth grows instead of shrinks. A tax expert can prevent you from overpaying taxes and structure your wealth in the most efficient way possible. And a legal expert will protect your assets and ensure that your money is safe from lawsuits or bad contracts. After getting the right team in place, the next critical move is to protect your money from yourself. Many people get rich and immediately start spending, thinking the money will last forever. The truth is, lifestyle inflation is real. The more you earn, the more you tend to spend, and before you know it, the fortune disappears. A good rule of thumb? Put most of the money somewhere safe for at least 6 months before making any big purchases. This gives you time to adjust mentally to your new reality, make rational decisions, and avoid reckless spending. Wealth isn't just about having money, it's about managing it wisely. And the best way to do that is by learning from the mistakes of others who lost everything because they didn't plan properly. Now we'll dive deeper into how to structure your wealth for long-term growth, where to invest, and how to avoid the biggest financial traps that destroy newly acquired fortunes. Stay tuned, because this is where the real wealth building begins. How to structure your wealth for long-term growth. So, you've taken the first critical steps. You've paused, stayed quiet about your wealth, and put together a team of professionals to help guide you. But now comes the real challenge: ensuring that your money lasts and doesn't disappear like it has for so many before you. The truth is, money doesn't automatically grow just because you have a lot of it. In fact, if you're not careful, it can shrink faster than you think. In this part, we're diving into the strategies wealthy people use to protect, grow, and sustain their wealth for generations. If you want to avoid the classic traps that destroy fortunes, listen carefully, because these next moves will determine whether you stay rich or go broke. 1. Setting up the right financial structure. The first major step in securing your wealth is creating a financial structure that protects your money from taxes, lawsuits, and even bad spending habits. Many wealthy people don't actually own their assets directly. They use tools like trusts, LLCs, and foundations to protect their money. A trust can shield your wealth from legal threats, prevent excessive taxation, and ensure your assets are passed down smoothly to future generations. If you've suddenly acquired a large amount of money, setting up a trust is one of the smartest moves you can make to secure your financial legacy. For business owners or investors, using LLCs and holding companies can help separate personal assets from business risks. This way, if something happens to your investments or business ventures, your personal fortune remains untouched. The key here is not just making money but making sure you don't lose it due to poor legal structuring. 2. Investing wisely. Don't just let money sit in the bank. One of the worst mistakes newly rich people make is either spending too much or doing nothing with their money. If you simply let a large sum of money sit in a regular bank account, you're losing money to inflation every single day. The smartest thing to do is put your wealth to work through investments. But here's the catch: not all investments are created equal. Many people who suddenly get rich jump into high-risk investments they don't understand, and before they know it, they've lost everything. Wealthy individuals diversify their portfolios across multiple asset classes, including stocks and index funds. These allow your money to grow over time while maintaining liquidity. Real estate. A great way to build long-term wealth through rental income and property appreciation. Private equity or business investments. If done correctly, this can create new income streams. Bonds and safer investments. Essential for stability and protecting wealth during downturns. The golden rule? Invest in things you understand. If you don't fully understand how an investment works, don't put your money into it until you do. 3. Avoiding the biggest financial traps that destroy wealth. Even with the best financial planning, there are traps that can drain your fortune if you're not careful. One of the biggest pitfalls is lifestyle inflation. When people suddenly acquire wealth, they tend to spend more, buying bigger houses, luxury cars, and taking expensive vacations, thinking the money will never run out. But when your expenses skyrocket, even millions of dollars can disappear quickly. Another massive trap is bad investments. Friends, family, and even strangers will come to you with amazing opportunities, asking you to invest in their businesses or projects. The hard truth? Most of these investments fail. Saying no will be one of the most valuable financial skills you ever develop. Then there's tax mismanagement. Many newly rich individuals don't understand that a large chunk of their wealth can disappear to taxes if not managed properly. Working with a tax professional can help you minimize liabilities legally and structure your finances in the most tax-efficient way possible. What's next? At this stage, you've set up a solid financial structure to protect your wealth. Started investing wisely to ensure long-term growth. Avoided the most common financial traps that destroy new fortunes. But what about the emotional side of wealth? Money changes how people see you, how they treat you, and even how you see yourself. Now we'll talk about the mental and emotional impact of sudden wealth, how to handle relationships, and the psychological traps that cause so many people to self-destruct. Stay tuned, because knowing how to manage your mindset is just as important as managing your money. The emotional and psychological side of sudden wealth. Imagine waking up one morning with millions of dollars in your bank account. You might think it's a dream come true, no more financial stress, endless opportunities, and total freedom. But here's what most people don't realize. Sudden wealth doesn't just change your financial situation, it changes everything. Relationships shift. People start treating you differently. You start questioning who you can trust. And for many, the pressure of wealth becomes overwhelming. In fact, many lottery winners, athletes, and sudden millionaires say they were happier before they got rich. Why? Because they weren't prepared for the psychological impact of sudden wealth. If you want to keep your money and your sanity, you need to understand how wealth affects your mindset, relationships, and emotional well-being. How money changes your identity. Money doesn't just buy things. It changes the way people see you and the way you see yourself. Suddenly, you go from being just another person to being the rich one. People will assume you have endless resources, expect generosity, and judge your financial decisions. Some will admire you. Others will resent you. And some will try to manipulate you. One of the biggest mental traps of sudden wealth is feeling obligated to help everyone. While generosity is great, many people who suddenly become rich give away too much, too fast, and find themselves financially drained. The hard truth? You can't save everyone, and trying to do so can lead to financial and emotional burnout. Navigating relationships after getting rich. Wealth reveals who truly values you and who only values your money. You may notice that some people who were once close to you start acting differently, suddenly expecting favors, asking for loans, or pressuring you into investments. Family members and friends might guilt trip you into financial support, making you feel responsible for their struggles. At the same time, you'll attract new people who want a piece of your fortune. It's easy to mistake their attention for genuine friendship, but many will disappear the moment you stop giving. This is why many wealthy individuals choose to stay private about their money. The less people know about your wealth, the easier it is to maintain authentic relationships. A simple rule? Never lend money you're not willing to lose. If someone asks for a loan, consider it a gift, not an investment, and if you're not comfortable giving it, say no. Avoiding the psychological traps of sudden wealth beyond the external pressures. Wealth can create internal struggles that lead to self-destruction. One of the biggest risks is feeling invincible. Many people who suddenly get rich start believing they can never go broke, leading them to overspend, overinvest, and make reckless financial choices. This is why so many lottery winners and pro athletes end up with nothing. They think the money will never run out. Another trap is losing purpose. Many people work for decades with a goal, whether it's building a career, running a business, or creating something meaningful. But when they suddenly become rich, they lose motivation. Without a purpose, life can feel empty, leading to reckless behavior, depression, or even substance abuse. The most successful wealthy people find new purpose beyond money, whether it's philanthropy, investing in businesses, or building something meaningful. Finally, there's the issue of paranoia and isolation. The fear of losing wealth, being taken advantage of, or trusting the wrong people can make sudden millionaires withdraw from the world. They stop trusting friends, avoid social situations, and feel disconnected from those around them. The key to avoiding this? Building a strong support system, not just financially, but emotionally. This means surrounding yourself with genuine, trustworthy people who care about you, not just your money. Preparing for long-term financial and emotional stability. At this point, you've built a financial plan to protect and grow your wealth. Avoided the biggest money traps that cause sudden millionaires to go broke. Learned how to manage relationships and emotions after getting rich. But the next step is about long-term stability. Now we'll dive into how to build generational wealth, create financial security for decades, and ensure that your money works for you, not the other way around. Because getting rich is one thing. Staying rich is a whole different game. Stay tuned. Building generational wealth and staying rich for life. At this point, you've learned how to protect your wealth, invest wisely, and navigate the psychological and social challenges of sudden riches. But here's the final and most important question. How do you make sure your wealth lasts, not just for you, but for future generations? Because getting rich is one thing. Staying rich is a completely different game. And the truth is, most people who come into sudden wealth don't keep it for long. Studies show that 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation, and 90% by the third. So how do you ensure that your money doesn't just fade away, but actually grows and provides security for you and your family for decades to come? Let's break down the strategies that the wealthiest families use to maintain and expand their fortune over generations. 1. The mindset shift. Thinking long-term, not short-term. The biggest mistake people make when they suddenly get rich is thinking only about the present. They assume the money will always be there, and they fail to plan for the future. But the richest families, the ones whose wealth lasts for generations, think in decades, not years. They don't just spend money, they strategically invest and preserve it, ensuring that their children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren will be financially secure. To build lasting wealth, you need to shift your mindset from, how can I spend this money, to, how can I make this money work for me forever? 2. Investing for the long run. The power of compound growth. If you want your wealth to last, it can't just sit in a bank account. You need to invest it in assets that grow over time. The wealthiest individuals focus on long-term investments that continue generating income, such as dividend stocks and index funds. These create passive income while protecting your money from inflation. Real estate, rental properties, commercial spaces, or land investments build wealth over decades. Business ownership. Buying or investing in companies that generate cash flow ensures that your money keeps working for you. Alternative assets, art, gold, or even digital assets can serve as hedges against market fluctuations. The key isn't just earning money, it's building systems that generate wealth without your constant involvement. 3. Creating passive income streams. Wealth that relies only on your active involvement is risky. If your money is tied up in one source, whether it's a job, a business, or an investment that requires constant attention, you're still financially vulnerable. That's why the rich prioritize passive income. The goal is to set up assets that generate money even when you're not actively working. This could include rental income from properties, dividends from stocks and funds, royalties from intellectual property, books, music, patents, etc. Automated online businesses, investments in businesses where you're not actively managing operations. Once you've secured multiple streams of income, your wealth isn't just protected, it's continuously growing. 4. Protecting wealth with legal structures and estate planning. Shocking number of wealthy individuals fail to prepare for what happens to their money after they're gone. That's why so much wealth disappears by the second or third generation. To keep wealth intact, you need a structured plan that prevents your fortune from being lost, mismanaged, or overtaxed. Setting up a trust is one of the best ways to do this. A trust ensures that your assets are distributed according to your wishes, while also protecting against excessive taxes, lawsuits, and financial mismanagement. A strong estate plan also includes clear instructions on wealth distribution to avoid legal battles, tax-efficient strategies to minimize inheritance taxes, education for future generations on how to manage money responsibly. If you don't control what happens to your money, the government will decide for you, and that usually means losing a huge portion of your wealth to taxes and legal fees. 5. Teaching financial literacy to the next generation. The final key to lasting wealth isn't just about money management, it's about mindset and education. The reason 90% of generational wealth disappears by the third generation isn't because of bad investments, it's because future generations aren't taught how to handle money wisely. If your children or grandchildren don't understand how to manage, invest, and grow wealth, they'll spend it faster than you can imagine. That's why the richest families prioritize financial education, teaching their children how to invest and build wealth, how to manage assets and avoid financial traps, how to run businesses and make smart financial decisions. Wealth that is earned and understood lasts far longer than wealth that is simply handed down. Final thoughts. The key to staying wealthy. At this point, you now understand what it takes not just to get rich, but to stay rich. The mindset shift from short-term spending to long-term investing. Building multiple streams of income so your money works for you. Using legal structures to protect and preserve wealth. Educating yourself and future generations on financial responsibility. Sudden wealth can be a blessing or a curse. What you do with it determines whether it lasts a lifetime, or disappears in a few years. So, what would you do if you suddenly became rich? Would you follow these principles, or would you risk losing it all? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights on money, investing, and financial success. Because getting rich is just the beginning. Staying rich? That's where the real challenge begins.